Hey folks, welcome back to One to One, the mini podcast project. I'm your host, Anthony Cruz, and today is May 20th, 2017. It's Saturday, and the sun is kind of out over here in New York. Hey, you take what you can get. New York is that equivalent of a nice gray place. Like, every time I hear the word New York, I never picture a colorful place. It's always gray and cold and devoid of color. And I live in this bitch, so imagine what the outside thinks. So yeah, I mean, we had some record-breaking temperatures over the past week. I know I'm talking about the weather, but you know, I got to do transitional, man. I can't just get into topics. But yeah, so yeah, we had some record-breaking temperatures, so it finally broke, and it's a lot cooler. It feels more like spring now, so I'm grateful for that, and I'm grateful because I can go out there and have my cigar without dying in heat. So there's that. I hope everybody's doing okay. I know it's been a while, but I'm back. What can I tell you? Welcome back. Your dreams were your ticket out, but the names have all changed since you've been around. Yeah, all that shit. So what's been going on? So I have been noticing lately, I've been seeing some reoccurring, themes. You ever been outside and you think about something? Let's say like you see a particular car, right? And then next thing you know, that's the only thing you ever see. Or you hear that one song and it just happens to play every time you turn on the radio. Like you can't escape it. Well, this was kind of like happening to me. I see this video that will pop up on Facebook, and it will just pop up every now and then, and then you hear it, on TV, and then you see it in the movies, and it just kind of keeps reoccurring, and it's kind of a pain in the ass. There's a technical term for it. Fuck if I know what that is, and if I do happen to do it, I'll mention it on the next podcast. But the thing I talk about, it's not so much a thing as something that you can touch, and it's not so much something that you can read, but we all can relate to it. It's kind of wild, but it's actually it's a location, believe it or not, and it kept popping up, this location, and we all been there. We all seen it. We all heard of it. And that's the one of the very few things that everyone shares in common. I speak of the place of which we do not speak. The place where there's no escape. The area where your hopes and dreams go to die. A community that's filled with sad souls, lost in utter delusion. A place where pain and time are kind of one and the same thing. I'm talking about the friend zone. And we all been there, folks. We all been there in one point of our lives. And if you haven't been there, on both sides of it, on the inside and outside of that zone, then you have not lived. You have not journeyed and explored and been a part of things. Because you know what? If you're human and you even have the most inkling of an idea of how relationships work, then you know what the friend zone is. And for the very few that don't know what the friend zone is, because you're just happen to be that lucky, fucking bastards. The friend zone is basically a place that you get sent to when you're really into someone and that someone is not into you. That is a real place, and it's very populated. So trust me, you're not on an island when you go to this place. There's many motherfuckers there with you. Male, female, in-betweeners. It's all there. And I want to kind of talk about that because, some people might be there right now. Some other people, may have been there before. I've personally been on both sides of that coin. I've been the person who has been placed in a friend zone on more than one occasion. And I've been the person who put people in the friend zone. So I kind of have a perspective on both, as most people would. And believe it or not, I mean, judging from my own experience, it seems like guys get put more in the friend zone than females do. Because guys don't give a fuck. Everybody gets a turn. I mean, guys are wired that way. Everybody gets a turn. What separates us from the women doesn't give everybody a turn. You know, so women are a little more selective. But yeah, I mean, I've seen both sides of the coin, and when you're the person putting in the friend zone, putting someone else in the friend zone, you're fine. You don't skip a beat. You know, you say, well, you know, I know what I feel, she feels, or he feels that way, and then, like, you know, you're okay. But when you're the one placed in the friend zone, holy fuck, that's a brutal turn, man. That's a brutal fucking thing, because your heart just aches all the goddamn time. It's rough, man. But I mean, we all know this because we've been there, you know, at some point in our lives, right? I'm just here to offer kind of a perspective, to kind of give a sort of an outlook. Is it such a bad thing? Is being put in the friend zone truly a bad thing? Well, yeah. I mean, it is. Think about it. You got feelings for someone, and you're holding on to those things, and no matter what you do or what you try, you can't seem to break that barrier, the one that keeps you from being just that guy to being the guy or female. You know, am I just, you know, his friend that he sees like a little sister, or am I going to be the one who's going to be putting on the wedding gown and walking with him down the aisle? I mean, whatever it is that you're hoping to get out of it. But yeah, I mean, that hurts, especially if you really have strong feelings. Crushes and things aside, I mean, those count, but they don't count as much as when you really, really are in love with that person, or you just have really strong feelings for that person. So yeah, you can kind of get lost with that, and that's a bad thing. But is it such a bad thing that they actually placed in the friend zone? Maybe they did you a favor. Think about it. You're their friend. You get access to them almost 100% without the romance. All right? So you know they'll tell you about their deepest, darkest dreams, their brightest dreams, their brightest fantasies, their darkest fantasies. You know what's going on in their lives personally. You've been to their home. You probably met their family. You've probably done all kinds of activities with them, taking vacations, whatever the case may be, if you're privileged enough to become that real BFF kind of thing with them. So you get to see all that. So you have an outlook of what that person is in life, and you get to see them how they are with whoever they're really dating at that time. So you get a strong outlook on how this person is, without suffering any of the pain that goes into actually in a relationship. I mean, you gotta wonder. You're sitting there thinking the grass is greener on the other side, but it's not. Maybe it's not. So you have to look inward and take inventory about, all right, who am I? What is that I like out of a relationship? And is that person really the kind of person I want to be with? Now, if your answer is yes, then I'm sorry to say, you're going to sit there and continue to be sad. But you can flip it if you look at that person and you say, well, you know what? That person really isn't for me. Yeah, we work as friends. But if anything more, you know, he or she is gonna, you know, she's gonna drive me up the freaking wall, basically. So those are the questions you have to ask yourself, you know, and then make an informed decision based on that. Remember, the grass is not always greener on the other side, right? So can you use that to your advantage, right? All that knowledge, right? Because you're thinking one of two things. You know, I can continue to be a friend and be in pain and wait for an opportunity, or I can make an opportunity. I mean, look at it. You know, if you know this person as well as you think you know them, then you got to know what they like and what they don't like. And that's the secret. If you ever thought about, is there a way to get out of the friend zone, then there's your secret right there. You have the inside knowledge. You know, out of countless conversations you probably had with them, of what turns them on, what makes that person interested in another person. Sometimes it's not always about looks with people. Unfortunately, it is true that there has to be some sort of physical attraction in order for things to start up. But women operate a little bit deeper than that, and sometimes it's not always about looks. And attraction can be an emotional thing, or just a connection thing. So on the guy's side, you have an option. Guys are a little more superficial on the surface, so it's about looks first and then everything else second. But that's it. I mean, so if you're looking for an out, there's only two ways in. I mean, there's one way in. They friend zone you, and there's only two ways out. There's the hard work that goes into it, where you kind of like razzle and dazzle them until they fall for you. Could happen. It's not impossible. It's happened before. Or you do the hard thing and you let them go. That's the hardest. That's possibly the hardest thing you can possibly do, right? Is to kind of just suck it up and say, you know what? This is not going to work for me. I can't sit here pining for somebody, waiting for them to get their act together. I got to move on. I got to meet people. If I don't want to be alone, you know what? You just got to say, c'est la vie. That's it. I'm done. You wash your hands with it, and then you move on. It's hard, man. It's hard to turn off feelings like that. Like I said, I've been there. Many of you have been there. And the people who haven't been there, I pray that you never get there. Because, you know what? When the day happens that you get placed into an area like that, man, color desaturates. Feelings get muddied and muddled and heavy. And, like, sometimes you wonder why you even stick around. As much as you enjoy their company, you wonder why you stick around, because you're never going to get what you want from them. Never. So, you have to walk away and find someone who will be there for you. Remember, you get one life at this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you're lucky, you get 60 years. If you're even lucky, you get 70 and 80. So, yeah, you got to make the best of it as best you can. So, oh damn, I'm losing my thought on this shit. I had a point. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, never look at it like it's like the grass is green on the other side. You can learn a lot from being a friend. Matter of fact, a lot of really good relationships have stemmed from being just friends first and then moving on to something more significant. Because sometimes you're just not on the same, you're not on the same wavelength. Guys mature later than females. I mean, that's been proven. Their mind is at one area and you're at not. And you got to give it time so that both of you are on the same page. It's hard, man. But there is hope. Like I say, that's where the place where, hopes and dreams die. But as true as that is, like, it's not completely true. There's always a spark of hope. If you're even 1% optimistic, you can figure out a way out of that shit. But don't put all your eggs in that basket, because it won't turn out that way. There are many times where I've been in that position where I've given opportunity for something to happen. I left myself open. I didn't date anyone, just so that to see if that one person will fucking wisen up and get on board and stop fucking around with the bad people, the people who are not going to be good to them, and start getting on board with the people that will. And even if it wasn't me, let it be some other dude who's really good, or and get in that spot. You know what I'm saying, and make her happy, because you want the best for that person in the end, right? And the same thing, like I've known a few of my friends, females, that they're like, man, I want to be with him, but he just can't seem to get it together. Well, hey, either he wisen up at some point and realize what he got in front of him, or he's going to continue to make bad mistakes and be disappointed in the end with all those relationships. So, like I said, you just kind of have to ride that wave and see where it takes you. But I really thought I was going to go 20 minutes on this shit, but I wrapped it up in 15. Shit, give me a talk show. I mean a real one, not a fucking podcast. So, but yeah, I mean, man, at this point I'm just talking shit. I'm just talking out of my ass. All my pre-written thoughts are done. I don't dwell on shit for too long. I pack shit up and I move on. That's the way I've always been. Like I said, I've been in that position where I needed to move on. And I swear to God, time waits for no one. And anything you do, man, I spent a lot of time waiting around for shit to happen. And let me tell you something, it don't. You got to take action. You got to make it happen. And that's it. That's the secret. So I'm going to wrap that up. That was less than 20 minutes. I'm the fucking man right now. So, yes, that's the friend zone. And hopefully you're not in it right now. But if you are, keep your head up. Greener pastures are coming. It may not be with that person, but it definitely is going to be someone. So, thank you for joining me. I've been Anthony Cruz on the One-on-One Mini Podcast Project. I'll see you next time. Or you'll hear from me next time. And, be sure to visit me on Instagram and Twitter. We should have a Titter. Yeah, we should definitely have a Titter. We should have Twitter and we should have Titter. And visit me on Instagram and Twitter at Tone and Stereo. Visit my Facebook page, Art Graphics Inc. And visit my website, artgraphicsinc.com. And subscribe to my videos, man. I'm on YouTube. Like I told you, 100 subscribers gets me a custom URL. You go further in that. Give me 200. Give me 300. Give me 1,000. Give me 100,000 subscribers. Because that's only going to motivate me to do more. And it's free. You know what I'm saying? Just click the button. Anyway, thank you for coming. I'll see you next time. Peace.